Is here to talk about a unique Alibaba model for brand growth. Well, truly, in the recent times has been a disruptive model. Tung, he joined Alibaba Group as the chief marketing officer in the year 2016. But before joining Alibaba, Chris worked for several global corporations, including PepsiCo, Procter & Gamble, L'Oreal, to name just a few in the senior management positions and across fields. At Alibaba, Chris created the concept of uni-marketing, a revolutionary marketing system that significantly improves the effectiveness of marketing and advertising by leveraging Alibaba's big data advantage. At Alibaba, he has led different business divisions to create best-in-class cases like the Taobao Festival, Tao Cafe, the Unmanned Store, and has also spearheaded the strategic sponsorship with the IOC. This made Alibaba the first internet company to become the global top partners for the Olympic Games. Mr. Tung, we're really eagerly awaiting to know more about Alibaba's unique business model. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tung.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Tung from Alibaba. It's a great honor to be here today. I'm totally excited today for two reasons. Number one, this is my first time to India. Jesus, you guys, thank you. You guys are eating lunch really late. That's what I found right now. And the second reason is it's always on my wish list to see the fastest growing economy in the world myself. And growth, as an internet company, we love growth. Fastest growth, Jesus, that's always the goal we go after in our industry. And in fact, Alibaba as the largest commerce platform in the world, we're posting a more than 50% year-on-year revenue growth right now. So we definitely want to pursue this fastest growth goal, but I think it's important to understand India as a market and Indian consumers as well through my trip and more trips to come. So if you want to ask me, what's the secret of driving that kind of a huge growth on a huge platform like Alibaba? I would tend to suggest that the secret is we do our best to help all the merchants, all the brands, to drive the best growth for them on our platform, so we can enjoy the best growth. So today, what I'm going to do in my short session is to share with you what we have developed in the last 2 years as a marketing methodology or a new marketing system to help all the brands to drive growth by leveraging Alibaba's data technology and ecosystem in China. This whole system is also used by ourselves, by my team, as an advertiser. So we also are part of the team that's experimenting the new system. So if you find, I hope my sharing will trigger some thoughts for you in terms of how to develop a new marketing model outside China. But in the case you don't find what I'm sharing is feasible in your market, my alternative suggestion will be pull more budget into China to drive the growth for your brand. So this is a very unique model, but I have to start by introducing what Alibaba does as a platform, as an ecosystem. Many of you may have the impression that Alibaba is an e-commerce company. Yes, we started out by making an e-commerce platform for international trade. But today, if you look at this chart, Alibaba as a company pretty much does everything in China. So in China, you can take Alibaba as an entity that looks like a combination of Amazon plus Facebook plus Google Gee, that's a lot of data to work with. And more importantly, we have built an ecosystem that help us to reach the consumers throughout their life effectively. So as a result, we are uniquely positioned to be able to have a single data source that's coming from different touch points, including e-commerce, including social media as well, because we invested in equivalent of Twitter in China, but also more like live services, food delivery, a lot of stuff. So 5 years ago, Alibaba management made a right decision of creating a data hub that actually helped to collect all the data from different touch points we have and attribute all the behavioral data into real people identity. As people may use different nicknames, fake names on different apps, as we know it. But with the use of AI, we're able to attribute every behavioral data into we call one ID. So that actually helped us build an infrastructure for brand building. This is no longer about selling the product of your flagship store on Alibaba platform. This is about how do we translate the data with AI to marketable insight for the brand builders. And also by leveraging all the touch points, we should be able to form a closed loop ecosystem for marketers to keep optimizing their campaign, their marketing effort, and get the feedback through the data, and then analyze the data and get another round of insight to be able to optimize the whole marketing effort. So this becomes a different system in our mind. And I have to think about what is the marketing model we've been using throughout the years. This is the typical, what we call path to purchase model that we're very familiar with. All the marketers have to run advertising campaign to drive awareness. Then statistically, we measure the effectiveness of the campaign by purchasing intent. That's probably the best we can do. All the way to purchase, to loyalty building through CRM program. This path to purchase looks like a continuous path. However, in reality, it's totally broken in the real world, because we never be able to get the exhaustive list of people who has shown their interest in buying our brands after seeing our advertising. We can just get a hypothetical percentage coming out of the campaign. And for example, fast-moving product brands, it will be totally impossible to be able to run a CRM because people are buying your product anywhere, anytime. So what is the viable loyalty program for a consumer packaged goods brand? So we have good thinking, we have a good model, but it's never come to life for us. So with this, we think we should, with the Alibaba ecosystem and a very good data source that we have, we should be able to construct something totally different. In this system, we actually track all the behavioral data in our ecosystem throughout all the touch points and categorize all the relevant consumers that has some kind of relationship with your brand on our platform and put them into 4 different buckets, being awareness, interest, purchase, and loyalty. And all the marketing efforts in our system, being running an advertising campaign, running a CRM program, push out contents, short videos, or participating even the very famous Double 11 promotion, online promotion day. All the efforts you're doing, we actually send all the related data back to the brands, what we call data bank for you. So the marketers will be able to measure, to analyze which one works better. And if you want to migrate the people who are interested in your brand to the bucket of purchase, you can also try different targeted campaign, different advertising to learn which one works better for you. So it becomes not only a way to optimize your marketing effort, it also becomes a perfect training camp for the marketers to keep trying different things throughout this system. So we call this uni-marketing because we're able to unite all the efforts in one ecosystem. And this is a system that's totally visible, trackable, actionable for all the marketers. And it makes sense because you does have the scale of coverage. You will be able to minimize the waste of using different media. And you don't have to worry about the problem of waste because you cannot measure the overlapping. And you don't have to worry about the discontinuity from awareness to interest to purchase because everybody is tracked down in your database in an anonymous way. So you will be able to do a lot of analysis and do the profiling of the people and optimize your marketing effort. I'd like to just give you a few examples of how our partners leverage this uni-marketing system. This is a collaborative model that we built together with some of the most admirable brands like P&G. Mark knows this very well. Unilever, Nestle, you name it, Nike, Apple, Uniqlo, or so on. Most of the world-leading brands are joining us in China and try to do different things with this, I would say, best-in-class marketing engine. So I'll give you some example to show how we are leveraging this system. Number one dimension would be new product launch. Many of us understand that, launching new product is a make or break marketing strategy for your brand. But the success rate of product launch is very low. Normally it's in the range of 10 to 20%. But that's when we spend most of our budget. So we actually, by analyzing the profile of people who are aware of your new product and show their interest, you will be able to have a much profound insight about how they're responding to the attribute of your new products or your advertising campaign. And this actually, because of the real-time feedback nature of this digital system, you don't have to wait for another traditional survey. So this will shorten the cycle of developing new innovation from 18 months to 9 months right now. And this helps you try out more possibility of products. Some of the CPG brands are actually taking off-shelf the product from other markets, try it out in China, just to maximize the odds, because this becomes a playground for them to try out. And also, the success rate is dramatically increased. 52% of the innovations hit the top-selling charts within 3 months. That's amazing. That gives a lot of confidence to the marketeers to keep bringing new product. And more new products in, consumers got more excited, they want to buy more, and they trust the brand even more. So it becomes a very healthy cycle to drive growth for the brands. One example for you, we helped sneakers to launch a spicy sneaker in China, very successfully. Because we have found people who show great interest in sneaker new products correlated to snacking behaviors of spicy food. So the team got the insight and was daring enough to say, hey, why don't we try something spicy? So the first ever spicy peanut sneakers was launched in China and was very successful. It's super cool. So I often thought, without the data backing, without the insight we got from Uni Marketing, as a marketer, who dared to propose to launch a spicy sneaker? And another example, another dimension will be advertising and media reach. In this system, we no longer look at media as online, offline, digital, analog. Actually, we look at all the possible programmatic digital screen in our life that's around consumers' life cycle. We think about mobile phone as a personal screen. We think about smart TV as a household screen. If you have come to China, you know a lot of LED has been implemented within the elevator of a residential building as well as office building. It's advertising everywhere in China. But the digital screen within the elevator will be a very effective public screen. So in our mind, all the screen will be a window to talk to each individual. If you will be able to label all the screen and make it programmatic. Based on the AIPL structure, you will be able to tailor-make your advertising message or content based on the context, the location, the label of each screen in our system. So I always say this is the best time for the creative directors in an advertising agency. Why? Because in the past, the creative agency only get one brief from the marketeer. This is the TA, this is the insight, this is a campaign you have to do. Then you make a few rounds of proposal and you make a campaign out of it. In the digital world, we don't have to worry about TA. We worry about how do you talk to each individual in a relevant way. So the demand of creating more creative, more stories is huge in this scenario. And the third areas that we have been applying the system a lot is CRM. Well, it's easy for us to imagine now CRM becomes much more sophisticated. It's not about sending a junk email or short message to disturb your precious customer, or to remind it's your birthday, you get a coupon or something. The whole personalization got reflected on all the touch points based on the personal profile. The whole website, the e-commerce flagship store, all the contents they see in our ecosystem has leveraged the great personalization capability based on your data bank. And another example would be luxury brand. Many years ago, luxury brands are still worried about putting their brands on a mass scale type of e-commerce like Alibaba. But today, it's no longer the issue because we have, for example, launched this embedded application called Luxury Pavilion on our site, on our app. And only 14 million of luxury profile people get access to see this pavilion on our site. It's like going to the flagship store on the Fifth Avenue. Only people who has the luxury product desire or spending power get to see that. Imagine, out of 1.4 billion population in China, only 1% of them get to see this. You can imagine the luxury brand will be able to protect their brand image and experience and only limit the access to the right people they want to talk to. And last but not least, you may have heard about the concept of new retail that Alibaba has been promoting in China. Through the technology of digital and digital payment through Alipay offline, we'll be able to link all the consumer data online, offline, and put everything in one data bank for the brand marketers, By the way, the brand data bank is authorized, it can be only accessed by the brand marketer by authorization. And they cannot see the personal data. They see the profiling of the group of data, normally in a unit of million people. So it's totally anonymized, aggregated, but there's a lot of profiling, labeling capability that helps the marketer to get more insights out of the system. So by having this system, marketers will be able to know who is coming to their offline brick-and-mortar store. How do I reach them online? Because consumer can be only reachable nowadays online. But then by reaching them online, you'll be able to engage them more effectively and drive them to the brick-and-mortar store in their neighborhood effectively. So this becomes a O2O2O, if you will, system for them under the backing of Unimarketing Data Hub as well. So Starbucks has probably first time in the world worked with a different partner than themselves to build something digital. So today in China, you will be able to use Alibaba app to order coffee, and the coffee gets sent to you in 30 minutes. You don't have to wait in a long line in a Starbucks shop, as well as you're getting nice surprise personalization features through the delivery. And it works perfectly with the Starbucks CRM program, but largely increase the capability to reach the 600 million people on Alibaba platform to drive Starbucks growth. Because CRM is only looking after the people you have touched. There is 90% of people on our platform for most of the brand that has not tapped into. That's the source of growth. That's what I mean by driving the growth for them. Last but not least, if you take another look at the data bank I keep mentioning, why we call it data bank? This is like the deposit, the newsletter you got from your private investment bank account, from your account manager. So by accumulate people in the AIPL, we help the brands to measure what's the value of the total consumer assets, considering their purchase frequency and buying power. So by looking at a number, you know there's a lot of asset you can monetize on if you work harder, learn more through doing more on the system. So this is a new way to look at marketing's expense. In another way, marketing is no longer an expense item on a P&L. This is an investment, because all the money you're spending on Alibaba platform will become a consumer asset in your data bank that you can monetize on in the future. And by benchmarking the brand penetration versus the category user base on our platform, you can also have another way to measure how far you can go, how many folds of growth you can have in the near future. So those are the total different thinking for marketer to think about. We are building a brand. We are accumulating brand equity. But now the digital system bring it to life, for us to work on it in a much more systematic and effective way. And this whole consumer asset is validated with Kantar Group to be seamlessly in line with the brand health tracking result as well. So this provides another real-time, credible reading of how strong we have built our brand. So this is about it. I actually have lots of case to share, but because of time, I can give you just some flavor that how we are helping to drive the growth for the brands with Alibaba's data technology and ecosystem in China. Hopefully, you can think about, when a digital time comes, we should be able to build brands in a totally different way to drive growth. And good luck with your growth driving effort. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We've got 3 questions. We'd be grateful if you could answer them for us, please. What is your best-in-class actual case where you see a deeper, more personalized relationship with a brand, not one that is rooted in transactional optimization?
Yeah. This whole consumer path or cycle AIPO model I just mentioned, you can cut it in many different ways. It's totally not just about transaction conversion. A quick example I can think of is we are helping one of the leading infant formula brands to launch a nutrition product for the pregnant women. And because of the system, we actually push out different advertising idea to different profile of groups. And one group actually responded with huge interest and therefore buying later on significantly, which is a husband group in Shanghai, which never, you can never thought about by human nature. And it turns out that the husband in Shanghai is actually a model husband. They actually cook for their family. They buy stuff for the family much more. It's actually true. So actually we have a dedicated campaign to target it at the husband in Shanghai for the nutrition product for their wives. So in that system, you get insights much more beyond human guess, hypothesis. You don't have to even guess. The machine will tell you where to go.
Wow, thank you. And thanks, Tom, for asking this question. Ladies and gentlemen, that question was from Thomas Doctoroff. Our next question is anonymous. Alibaba Group Holding Limited logged 10 billion yuan of sales volume in the opening minutes of its Singles Day sale.
Yeah.
They crossed $31 billion on the Singles Day that was held on 11/11, the biggest sale event in the world. What is the mantra that drives these numbers?
Great question, thank you.
I think it's just a lot of time being single.
Well, Singles Day is such a fun project to work on every year. One key thing that has great correlation with what I shared today is the use of data. Imagine for 24 hours, you want to sell products that's worth 30 billion US dollars.
Yes.
That's a lot of the transaction. It's actually around 300,000 transactions per second.
Wow. Wow.
This is larger than the Visa, Master, I think, a global transaction number at its peak. So apart from the power we got from Alibaba Cloud, that's backing up all the transaction,
Yeah.
the whole Alibaba Cloud system is backing up on a huge number of personalization calculation in the 24 hours. So basically, let me put in a plain consumer language. During the 24 hours, every time you go to Tmall site, you feel it's complete, exciting, different recommendation for you again. So you cannot stop. Every time you come, this is new things you want to buy. It's all calculated again based on your personal interest. So that's the power of data to really unlocking the potentials of buying by personalization and calculation. So try it next time on Double 11 if you have the chance. Try what I'm saying. It's designed for you, for hundreds of million consumers. Each one think it's for them. The promotion, the product assortment, the promotion offer changes by hours. That's why you cannot stop.
Wow. How many singles in the house? By show of sir, seriously? Like, seriously? There is nothing single. All right. And I have one more last question, Mr. Tung, and that is, what are the steps taken by Alibaba to protect consumer behavioral data privacy under your new approach, uni-marketing?
Yes. Data protection and privacy protection is the top priority for us when we think about this whole thing. That's why there is a fine line that we always provide insight, the workable, actionable insight to the marketers. There's, as I explained, all the data in a data bank is anonymized, it's aggregated, but we have analytical tool help you to profiling the data in a relevantly massive way to provide you good enough data referring to your marketing effort. So you get derivatives to optimize your effort without having to know each individual. And on the other side of consumer, we also think this is value added for our consumer too, because the ultimate goal is we want consumers being touched by the brands they love, not the random brands, all the brands they like, all the personal offer they love to have. So the ultimate experience will be having bottlers from Downton Abbey. You know, the brands are there to serve you better, not to disturb you better, because the system know you better. So it's a win-win-win. It's a win for consumer for better experience, better taken care of. The brand is much more efficient in the way they do marketing, and the platform keeps growing, like the way we grow.
Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tung.
Thank you.
May I please invite on stage Mr. Anand Sankeshwar to kindly present a token of appreciation to Chris. Please. Thank you. Mr. Tung. Thank you so much. Valuable insights. Congratulations on your success. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tung.